Hey there, welcome to the Movie Review Mom YouTube channel. If you are brand new to my channel, yay, you're finally here. We have been waiting for you. And if you are a returning subscriber, yay, thanks for coming back. I truly appreciate your support. If my reviews are helpful, give them a thumbs up. Comment down below, subscribe, you know the drill. So my goal is to save you time and money by giving you the inside scoop on the filmmaking quality and content, so you can decide whether or not you want to spend time or money watching a particular movie. So today, the particular movie I'm reviewing is called Inside Out 2. This adorable and insightful sequel is now playing in theaters. The movie is rated PG. It's an hour and 36 minutes long. And my overall movie review mom grade is that was the drum roll, an A. I really thought it was sweet. I'm going to give you the whole scoop. First, I'll give you an overview in a nutshell. Then I'll point out things I liked, then things I didn't like, as well as offer tips for parents, themes worth talking about, especially if you watch this with your kids, and you should, and funny lines, interesting lines, and then we'll finish up with recommendations for other films that are sort of similar that you might also really like if you like this one. But first, the featured product today for this movie is some merchandise that features Anxiety, the new character that is just hilarious and is really the big main character of this movie, I would say. And so as I was looking at merchandising, by the way, you can click on that link down below. But as I was looking for merchandising, a lot of this Anxiety's face had her frowning. And so I like this one because she's kind of smiling, but she also looks like she has extreme anxiety. So I thought it was really cute. So back to the movie. So in a nutshell, this cute sequel to the enlightening Inside Out continues with Riley as she enters her confusing teenage years, encountering new and mixed emotions. The film was directed by Kelsey Mann, who also co-wrote it with Dave Alstein and Meg LaFave. Hopefully I pronounced those names correctly, and I apologize if I didn't. There has been a lot of excitement swirling around the launch of this film. Within 24 hours of the very first trailer's premiere, more than 157 million fans watched it, which is more than even Frozen 2 when that movie and that trailer first came out in 2019. That's impressive because I'm thinking Frozen is way bigger than Inside Out, but not according to the trailer. So quick tips for parents. I think that this movie could actually be a really helpful tool for parents as their preteens are going to try to understand what's coming during adolescence and how to prepare emotionally for that tumultuous time. Riley makes some really bad decisions in the movie. And so definitely point those out and talk about what she could have done differently or better. And the good news is there's no profanity. So yay. There are some characters in perilous situations. Some of the themes that are illustrated very well are sense of self. And of course, those teenage years are really the first time where you're like, who am I? What do I want to be? What group am I going to hang out with? How would somebody label me? You know, I remember having those thoughts. Other themes are friendship. And of course, the biggest one is anxiety. Anxiety is such a huge topic right now, especially with millennials and Gen Z who are struggling with it every day. Now, don't get me wrong, adults definitely have anxiety too, but hopefully adults have learned better how to deal with that overwhelming emotion and have found tools and techniques that help. I love that the movie illustrates the emotional characters that the parents have too, because adults are just big kids, right? Anxiety makes for a good villain in this new movie because it can feel like a villain in real life. And by the way, I think that the visual representation of this character is hilarious, which is why I wanted to feature that product. And by the way, that product is on Amazon Prime. Now, it doesn't cost you any more to buy that, but if you do buy it by using that link and you click on it, Amazon throws me a few pretty pennies to thank me for telling you about that product. All right, other themes are envy. And I thought it was really fascinating to see the character envy and anxiety work together to kind of create a type of ambition. And I thought that's actually really true. Envy and anxiety could have a positive outcome if it's what motivates you to level up, to be better and try harder, that kind of thing. Other themes are your beliefs, emotional intelligence. Embarrassment is a new character. Overthinking and peer pressure, which are huge during those teenage years. Focusing on the positive instead of the negative. Focusing on what we can control, not what we can't, which is a huge part of anxiety. And accepting yourself with your flaws and your strengths. And each day trying to improve upon those things. All right, so here's the long list of things that I really liked about this movie. And hopefully I won't make this review so long, but I have a lot of things I want to say. So first of all, I think it's so clever to introduce new characters to expand this franchise and expand our interest in it. The teenage years are filled with so many possible emotions. And as a new teenager, Riley experiences feelings of these new characters: anxiety, embarrassment, envy, and ennui, which is just a fancy schmancy French word for boredom. This franchise could easily go on for years as we watch Riley age and go through every phase of life and the new emotions that emerge in each of those phases. The voice talents are fantastic and include Amy Poehler, Maya Hawke. She's the new character of Anxiety, and she's fantastic. Kensington Tallman, Lewis Black, Tony Hale, Phyllis Smith. We saw and heard them from before. Diane Lane, Paul Walter Hauser. He's a new character. Embarrassment. Yvette Nicole Brown, and so many more. Just top notch. The entrance and quick departure of nostalgia as a character was such a cute touch and made me laugh out loud. It's fun that they showed characters in different animation styles as well. I said, well, weird, didn't I? Pay very close attention to everything in every scene so that you can catch the many Easter eggs that are in this movie. There is so much visual and spoken humor. I love that. There is something that can make all ages laugh. The lines fly by fast and furiously. And so this is one of those movies that you're going to want to watch again just to catch everything. And it's just one you're going to want to watch again anyway. Now, I don't say that about all movies. Braces, zits, the new Riley is going through tricky puberty and the tumultuous teenage years. And Pixar is just genius for knowing how to design detailed animation, to create movies with heart, utilize music that pulls at your emotions and makes both kids and adults feel seen. Let this be a lesson to you, Disney. Leave Pixar alone to do what they do best. I love the message by Anxiety when she said, quote, "We don't get to choose who Riley is," end quote. And nowadays, everyone talks about their feelings and their emotions as if they are the most important thing. Emotions are fickle and cannot always be trusted. I'm speaking from personal experience. Now, listening to your heart is important in life. And those feelings are important. However, so is your brain. And you've got to use both of them. And nowadays, the conversations I hear are always, well, I feel this and I feel like that. And I teach at a university. And I always tell my students, how about let's use the word think? I think this, right? Use some logic and reasoning. It's not all about your feelings. Now, there's a really great concept, the river of consciousness. It's such a great visual to illustrate that flowing conscious state. Keep watching during the rolling credits for some more cute clips. And then at the very end of all the rolling credits, there's a short clip of Joy opening the vault to learn what Riley's deep, dark secret is. Now, the list of things that I didn't like is very small. Two things. That's all I could even think of. First, like the first movie, it is a bit depressing and heavy for a children's animation. But I think that's also why people loved that first movie so much. People were like, whoa, this is deep. for a Disney animation. Movies should teach, should inspire. At least those are the type of movies that I really love. Instead of just wasting time, there's got to be a deeper lesson that can be learned, right? And the second thing is with an ice hockey camp to keep her very busy, Riley doesn't really have time to get bored. So we don't get to see the new character Ennui do much. And I was super entertained by that character. And I'm like, she just doesn't have time to get any bored in this movie. So whenever I watch movies, I take notes, of course, but I specifically write down the funny lines and the interesting lines that I hear. I have them all on my written review at moviereviewmom.com, so you can see them all there, but I'll share a few of them with you right now. For example, the mom is having this conversation and watching Riley go through all of this stuff, and she says, well, that's a preview for the next 10 years, which is so true. And then Anger is voiced by Lewis Black, and he's talking about his Riley's old girlfriends who are now being partitioned off to go to another high school, which is really the impetus for all of this drama that ensues. But he says, aren't those traitors dead to us? Which is like such a teenage girl thing to say, right? And then Joy is trying to talk to Sadness. Now, in the first movie, if you haven't seen it, Sadness really struggles. And if you haven't seen the first one, I would encourage you to watch that one first so you can really fall in love and understand this universe. But you still can appreciate this movie without having seen the first one. But anyway, so Joy, the character who's voiced by Amy Poehler, she says, I know you, Sadness. You are strong. And then she's kind of like, I can't give you any specific examples right now, but you got this, because Sadness is just always so overwhelmed with sad things. Anyway, and then there were a lot of really interesting lines. So Anxiety is there for a good purpose. She sees the future. She's looking out for Riley and wanting to make sure Riley is getting in with the cool crowd and is doing things that are going to set her up for success for high school, which is great. Anxiety can be purposeful and helpful. However, anxiety often gets the best of us and just turns us into this emotional disaster, right? So Anxiety says, she's voiced by Maya Hawke, says, okay, Riley, you're in good hands. Now let's change everything about you, which is kind of how you feel as a teenager. You're like, everybody used to like me. What's happening with these teenage years? And then Anxiety also says, to the other emotion, she says, it's not about who Riley is, it's about who she needs to be. And I think that is a lot about what anxiety is not feeling like you're good enough. Riley definitely feels that in this film. And then Joy says something so profound. She says, maybe this is what happens when you grow up. You feel less joy. And I just was like, oh, gulp. What a horribly profound thing to say, because in a way it's true. We can't feel that just childlike joy because we're not worried about anything, when we're kids. But when we're adults, we overthink everything, and it does steal some of our joy. And it made me sad to hear her say that. All right, and let me share one more line that I thought was really profound and true. This is a character who is discussed, who's voiced by Liza Lapira. And she says, how do we keep bad memories from forming bad beliefs? And I love that because of that whole concept of you might believe something once and then it's over. But if you keep having these memories and they're just constantly in your head, you're going to form bad beliefs. You're going to believe those bad things about yourself. So I thought that was really interesting. Have those conversations with your kids. I think it can make a big difference for them as they go through those really troublesome adolescent years. All right, so I want to share some movies that are very deep emotional movies that I think you might also really like. So I highly recommend these three that instantly came to my mind. The first one, of course, is Inside Out, #1. The second one is Toy Story 4. We felt like the whole trilogy was done, wrapped up, tight. We didn't need a fourth one. And then we had the fourth one and we were like, oh my gosh, we didn't even know we needed that fourth one. And it was so emotional and so profound and mature and deep. So I love that one. And then another one that is a gut punch to your heart and your stomach is the movie Up, where you're just like, wow, this is so profound and deep for not only children, but adults. So fantastic. I love all of those. All right, that's it. Thank you for spending a few minutes with me. I hope my reviews were helpful. Have a fantastic day, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye for now.